Buddy. Oh, we're being recorded. So, okay. So everybody here is 12 or younger, right? And we got your team leaders. Okay. Well, I am going to introduce myself just so you know who I am. My name is Katherine. Can anyone guess how old I am?
Recording in progress.
30, 21. Ooh, I'm closer to 30, 25. Ooh, close. I'm 26. I'm 26 and I'm married and I have two kids. They're both boys. And they're 3 and 1. So they're little itty bitties. And I am the national YIM coordinator for North America. So our whole big landmass, North America and Canada. I'm in charge of making sure things run smoothly and we're all doing good stuff. So that's my job. And today I was asked to give you guys a talk about identity. Okay, so this is kind of a big word, identity, but to break it down into a small little sentence, it's basically who you are and what you value. Okay, so it's who you are and what you value. And I'm going to call on some of you guys, and maybe a team leader can unmute you. I'm going to ask you some questions about what makes you guys you. Okay. So let's see here. Kayla, what is something that makes you Kayla and that's unique to only you? Oh, hang on. Let's get you unmuted.
I don't really know.
Do you like to do anything in your free time?
Oh, I like music.
Music. So that's part of your identity, right? Music is part of who Kayla is. Wonderful. Okay, thank you, Kayla. Let's see. Lincoln, can we unmute you? What is something that makes you you?
Um, um,
Lincoln, how many siblings do you have? Do you have any siblings?
yes,
How many?
2.
2 siblings. So that's something that makes you you, right? What is something that you're good at?
Um,
Do you like do you like playing sports
yes,
or drawing or music? Yeah. So there's lots of things, right? Thank you, Lincoln, that make us unique and that make us who we are. Okay, so we're gonna draw a little picture here in a minute. So you'll have your drawing and writing utensils ready. But first, I'm gonna share a little bit about who I am and how I got to be where I am. So I was born into the unification movement, just like a lot of you guys or most of you guys. And I was an only child. So I don't know if anyone out there is an only child, but that's something that makes me unique is I didn't have any siblings. And so summer camp was my place to get to be with other young people and to connect. And summer camp is where I felt strong. It's where I felt like everybody else had this really similar identity to me. We have this network of people, right? These people that aren't in your family, but they've gone through a lot of the same things that you've gone through, right? We all probably have experienced Hundake at some point. We've all maybe pray before our meals. We all do a lot of the same things. So that was something growing up that I really loved, is that there were other people out there who were just like me in a certain sense. Not everything about us is the same, but we were the same. We kind of had the same roots, the same background. So summer camp was awesome for me to be able to connect and really feel strong in who I was, and to connect with other kids. So that's just a little bit about my identity growing up. So here is where we are going to get our notepads and drawing utensils out. So I'm going to get my notepad. Oh, Liam's emoji is honey. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to draw a flower. And this flower has to have a root, a stem, and some petals. Okay, so I'll just start. So you guys, part of my identity, I am not a good drawer. Okay, so some of you guys are going to draw really pretty flowers, and mine's going to kind of be a little goofy because I am not good at drawing. So here we go. Here I'm going to draw some roots. And you guys can draw with me, and we can take a few minutes after I draw too. But these are my roots, and I'm going to draw my stem. It's going to be green. And then, oh, I should probably draw some like, there we go.
Like,
See my flower. You guys don't have to copy my flower. Please draw a flower however you want. Oh, petals. Something like that. This is probably not a flower that exists anywhere in the world, but an orange. Let's do an orange. Okay. So here's my kind of wacky looking flower. So this flower, does anyone think they know what this flower might represent?
Yeah.
Clara, you have a guess?
Is it you?
Yeah, these flowers represent us. Okay, so we'll pretend like this picture is kind of a representative of who we are. And at the bottom here, we have our roots. These are the things that never really change. They're who we are, and they're always going to be a part of who we are. So something that is a part of who I am is I'm half Japanese and half American. So that's always going to be a part of who I am. So for you guys, you all have different ethnicities, right? Your parents come from different countries or the same countries where you live, that there's a mix, there's everything. So that's always going to be a part of who you are. So I'm going to write half Japanese, half American. That's my part of my identity that never ever changes. My roots never change. Something else that's always going to be a part of me is my past. So all the years that I've lived up until now, that's all going to be a part of who I am forever. I can't take away that past. So you guys are young, you only have a few years under your belt, but that's all still a part of who you are, right? If you play an instrument or you like sports or you like reading, all of that is, even if you don't like it in the future, it's still going to be a part of who you are. Another part of who I am is I came from God and I came from true parents. So I'm going to write God and true parents. I can't ever change that, right? God brought us onto this earth with big plans for our lives. And true parents showed us how to live the very, very best life because they knew God's plan. And so true parents teach us how we can live the happiest, healthiest, best life. And that's why we're all here together. Oh, Bia, is she raising her hand?
I'm half Japanese too.
Oh, so you're just like me. Cool. Yeah. So some of us probably have the same identity written as far as our ethnicity goes. Um, yeah, so there's other things we can write down here, like our family. That's never going to change. Who we were born to, who our parents are, that's always part of our roots, right? And so now we have this flower, right? The petals. These right now, you can write all the things that make you you right now. So if you love art, you can write art. If you love soccer, you can write soccer. If you have a best friend named Tommy, you can write Tommy in here. These are all the things that are going to represent you right now. Okay, so I'm going to take a few minutes here to write some things that are me right now. Okay, everyone writing some things in their petals about who you are right now. I'm excited to see some of these when they're all done. I bet some of your flowers look way better than mine. Okay, so in my flower, I've got exercise, wife, swimming, mom, and sports. These are all things that identify me right now. So I really like moving my body and running and exercising and swimming. I was a swimmer growing up. Anyone a swimmer out there? Yeah, so I was a competitive swimmer for like 18 years and loved it. And so I love moving my body, and that still describes me now. So swimming described me when I was 5, but it also still describes me now. But wife and mom, I wasn't a wife and mom 10 years ago. So those are things that came into my life later. So these petals, we can grow new petals, right? And some of these can fall off and they can shed, and you can make a new self. So as much as our identity stays the same down here, right? These new petals, you can blossom into new people. So Naomi, the Naomi you today, in 10 years, you might have new petals with different interests and different things that identify you. Agnes, you might love one thing today, and later in a few years, you might be someone different. So our roots stay the same, but our identity and our flower can change year by year. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so is anyone a brave volunteer that wants to show us their flower and what's inside of their petals and their roots? Is anyone?
I mean, I can.
Clara? Okay, let's see it.
Well, when you said like those percentages of who you are, I decided to write down because my mom told me this. I'm like 75% Korean.
Yeah. So that's your ethnicity.
Then like parents and God too.
Nice.
And around my like petals, I thought you said stems, so
Wow, look
I
at
tried
that
to-
flower, you guys.
not really perfect flower. I mean like, and I wrote down like art, biking, drawing, video games.
Biking, drawing, video
Yeah.
games.
A lot of other things, but yeah.
That's what makes you Clara, right? Very
And
good.
I drew this flower because I thought it was funny.
You drew that flower, why?
Because I decided to make a blue rose.
Yep.
Like I made this like yellow dot because I thought like maybe I could like do this flower petal stuff. Then I realized I wanted to make like a rose. Then I wanted to add more to it, so I made these things.
Nice. Very good, Clara. Thank you. Is there anyone else who can share their flower? Nia, is that how you say your name?
Yeah.
Hi, Nia.
Hello. This is my flower.
Ooh, nice.
I'm half Japanese and half Serbian, and I like volleyball, swimming, animals, cats, dogs, and nature.
Ooh, animals and nature. Very cool. Does anyone else like animals? Anyone have any pets?
We
Yeah.
had a fish, but it died. And we're getting a dog named Ev.
Cool. Cool. Could we get one more volunteer? Sedona, would you like to share? Can we unmute Sedona? Very good.
Yeah. My roots that never change. I was born in USA. I came out of my mom's tummy.
Hang on, Sedona. Can anyone else hear her? Is it my Wi-Fi?
It's hard to hear her from
It's on her end, I believe. Wi-Fi is bad, but I think it's just her.
Sedona, you may wish to speak a little bit more, a little bit louder. Oh boy, connection's real bad. If it goes on for too long, because if I remember correctly, this happened at morning devotion as well, where someone's bandwidth was absolutely horrible, and then it seemed like they were just continuing to speak, but they were actually speaking for like 2 minutes maximum, just stretched out over like 10 minutes.
Oh,
So
okay.
if that
Well, maybe we
happens, then
can-
we can mute. Yeah.
Yeah, we can mute her and maybe we can come back. Thank you, Sedona. Okay, anyone else would like to share their flower and what makes you you?
So here again with my roots.
Oh, I don't see anybody. Okay, can everyone hold up their flowers so we can take a picture? Hold up your flower. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay, very good. Okay, so yeah, now that we have our flower and our identity written out, I'm gonna talk a little bit more. So you can think of yourself as this flower and someone that can change into new things, but you also still have those core beliefs too. So for me, I want to talk a little bit about how I figured out that God exists. Do any of you know that God exists? Yeah. So I'm someone who really likes science and logic. And so when I was little, I was like, God, I can't see you. I don't know that you really exist because I like science and I like to see things and be really logical. But I watched a video called Privileged Planet. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but it basically convinced me that there is no way we could all live on Earth and be safe unless there was a God. So this movie taught me that through science that God does exist. So that, did you know that if our Earth's tilt was just a little teeny bit off, all the rocks in space and everything would be thrown off. Our gravity wouldn't exist. All the oceans would fly every which way. So everything about Earth and the way we're able to live on Earth is perfect, just especially for us. And that's because God made it that way. God made our Earth. It's not random. It's not just at the snap of a finger, everything was perfect. God made this Earth specifically for us to live on. And we're not too close to the sun, right? You guys know about the planets. We're perfectly in the right spot where it's not too hot, where we're super close to the sun, and we're not too far from the sun either, where we're super cold. We're in this perfect spot in our Milky Way, and we have gravity and we rotate and we have these seasons and our cells. For some of you, maybe older kids, you might have learned about cells and how they're super, super tiny, but we have millions of them in our body, right? And there's like little parts of each cell, the nucleus, the mitochondria. There's no way all those little teeny millions of cells in our body just happened by accident. It's because God created us and made us so specific and in this crazy detailed way so that we could be really happy. So growing up, I after seeing that video, I was like, okay, God does exist. I totally know it. And then from that point forward, I was, 2 trillion or more cells. Thanks, Grace. Yeah. So to have that many cells in our body is pretty crazy. So after that, once I knew God existed, it opened up this whole new world. It opened up the idea that, wow, everything that's good that's happening in my life is because God loves me. God loves us all as his children. And because God doesn't exist on this planet in human form, sometimes it's easy to get lost, right? It's easy to not know the answers. It's easy to think like, well, God's so far away, like, what do I do next? And so that's where true parents came into my life. And I thought, wow, true parents understand God in a really, really deep way. They understand. It's like God had this map of, or this, or like a desk, or like a, like a map or a journey of how we can be happy. And true parents revealed that map, that blueprint to us. So true parents have basically showed us how to live the happiest, healthiest, best life because they understand God in this crazy way. So even though sometimes many of you guys might have experienced that living against how the regular world, I guess, or the people that aren't in our movement, people who don't know true parents, how they live. It's difficult sometimes to live, right, and go to school with kids who are doing things different from you or don't have the same background from you. But true parents have showed us how to live the happiest and healthiest life so we could be happy. And so that's where I found gratitude in true parents. I was able to realize that, wow, even though living a life according to how God wanted requires patience, requires some motivation, it requires dedication, even though some of those things are really difficult, it ultimately leads me to live the happiest life that I can and the best life. So, having this identity with God and true parents has really made my life better, even though sometimes I thought, man, like I want to do this or I want to do that. I really found in the end, after getting married, that I was really happy that I made the choices that I did growing up, even though sometimes it was tough. So, yes, having this identity is so special because we have this roadmap and we have this guidance from our true parents that kind of help us understand God and what God really wanted, because God can't speak to us, with in a book, but we have our true parents who have been anointed by God and who God works through to speak to us. So we're really, really lucky. So let's recap a little bit. We covered identity and who you are today, and that, right, doesn't have to be who you are in 10 years. We can take steps to be someone that we want to be in the future. So does anyone here want to go to college? Does anyone want to go to college? Yeah.
Like in the future?
Yeah, in the future. Anybody want to go to college? Maybe when you're 18 or 19, right? So a college student isn't who you are now, right? You're not in college right now. But in order to get there, you have to take some steps, right? You have to go to high school maybe or middle school. Do you guys call it middle school and high school? Or
Yeah.
junior high? Yeah. So you have to take some steps to become that person, for that to be your identity. You can't be in the third grade and then tomorrow wake up and be in college, right? So there's some steps that you have to take in order to reach those goals. So have any of you written goals before? Like you really, really want something, and so you write your goal down, or maybe you just think it in your head. That's something that I like to do a lot because it helps me become who I really want to be. So if your identity right now is you're in the fourth grade or in the second grade or the fifth grade and you want to be a college student, you've got to take some of those steps towards having a new identity. And also another big part of your identity is how you treat people, right? Treating people and how you live your life and your core values. Let me see here. Vincent, what's a core value that you believe in? The core values are like honesty, trustworthiness, kindness, compassion. What's something that you really value that you always that you will always have in your heart about how to treat people or how to treat others?
I'm always grateful.
Grateful. That's a really, really good one. If you're grateful, you can almost always be happy, right? Because you're always thinking about, wow, what I have rather than what I don't have. So you can always have a really good positive attitude. Wonderful, Vincent. Let's see. Austin, what's a core value that you really, really believe in your life? Austin Chang, what's a core value that you believe in?
Like, can it be like anything, like sort of?
Yeah, so Vincent said gratitude. Something I try to be is always honest. So honesty is something that I really value. So we're wondering maybe what's something that you really value that you always try to be?
A good sibling.
Good sibling. Wonderful. Do you have a lot of siblings?
Oh yeah, I have 3.
Oh, yeah. So that can be a challenge sometimes, right? Because they're always there and they're always around. Good. Does anyone else want to share a core value that they really always try to live every day using or doing? Bia, would you like to share? No. Shen Jun Young? Can you share a
Yes.
core value for us?
I always, yes. I always try to be patient to others, and yeah, that's it.
Patience. That's a big one. Very good. So these core values are also a big part of our identity. Grace M, she says, always wants to help or forgive, even the ones who hate you. Wow, that's another way to live a really, really positive life, right? Is always trying to love people, even if they hate you. And that's what Jesus did. And that's what true parents did over and over again. And it grew their heart really, really big. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you guys. Those are really some awesome core values. So that's also a part of who we are. And you can even add that to part of your identity, right? That's who you are and who you live by, your core values. You can add those. And sometimes they can change too. Just like, maybe when you were younger, it was really hard to be grateful. And then as you grow up, you learn to be really grateful, and that's who you can become. So you can use this as a really good tool. You can maybe draw a flower every year and see how you've grown and see how you've changed. And this flower is beautiful to God and true parents, no matter what is written on it. Did you know that? No matter what your interests, what your core values, no matter what, this flower is so, 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 so precious. And I know your parents love this flower, and our true parents love this flower, and God loves this flower. And so you guys are all valuable no matter what your flower looks like. And no matter who you are, what you've done, or what you're even going to do. You just have ultimate value because you exist as a human. So that is pretty darn cool. Someone's going to have to give me flower drawing lessons because my flower looks, I don't know, what does my flower look like? Kind of looks like a sprinkler, like those ones where they go, and the flowers just fly everywhere. Maybe Clara can give me flower drawing lessons. Victor, did you have a question?
So, your flower might be unique. I know.
I missed that. Flowers are unique.
The flower might be unique.
Flower might be unique. Yeah, for sure. There are big flowers, there are skinny flowers, there are colorful flowers, there are droopy flowers, there's everything. So we're all different and we all have, ooh, very nice. Annika? I like your flower. It's very pink. She has a pink flower. Is that your favorite color? No? Very good. Well, that ends my talk for today. Just a little recap. Our identity in God and true parents is so special. We're so lucky to have our true parents who help us understand God and understand the world and how we can live, right? Otherwise, you can just kind of walk around outside and make your own choice, but we're really lucky to have this roadmap, right, that helps us live a happy life. Our true parents brought that to earth, and so it's really awesome if we can share that with others, right? If we know how to live a happy life, and we can share that with other people, and they can be happy, and we can make our world a really awesome place to live. So thank you guys for listening and for drawing with me. I hope you had some fun drawing your flowers. And yeah, I think that is it. Thank you. Team leaders, I'm not sure where we go from here, but take it away.
Thank you for your TED Talk.
Thank you, Katherine. Let's all give a big round of applause, everyone, to Katherine. Let's show her some love.
Thank you for your TED Talk.
I'm not sure how much time we have.
Yes.
We have 3 minutes left until team breakout. Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, really? Thank you for the talk. It was very nice.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Katherine, do you have any discussion questions that we can talk about in our teams?
Oh, so Sasha was maybe going to, but I don't know if she was here. I
It's
could
okay
think of
if you
some.
don't. You can always think of some too.
Yeah, maybe something is something coming up is if you don't maybe like your identity right now, or you want to be something soon, like maybe you want to be really good at guitar, or really good at something, or you want to change or blossom into some new or have a new petal, what are some steps that you could be taking towards becoming that person? Maybe maybe it's something like you're really impatient. Someone mentioned being patient with their siblings, but maybe you're really impatient, or maybe you want to be a better friend. What are some things that we could blossom into in the near future? Maybe even in a few months, that you can make your identity, because we have the power, right, to change and to become who we want to be. We don't have to wait for anybody. So that might be a good question. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.